Hi, my name's Josh, and I wanted to give you the 3 steps that I did to make my last video. Just the general process without the technicals that you can find in every other video. I want to give you the most amount of value in the little amount of time as possible. In the future, I might do VFX breakdowns, but they'll require their own video. For now, I just don't want to waste your time. First, I came up with a message simple enough one could describe it to another in a single sentence. In this example, "Hey, did you see that video about Josh beginning?" Then I gave the message a title that the story can tie into. In this case, "Let's Begin." Then I thought of a beginning, a middle, and an end that would coherently capture this idea. I knew I wanted the climax to be quicker paced and filled with drone footage, so I worked backwards from there. To make it diverse enough, I gave it 3 locations: the desert, the coast, and the mountains. To give the climax perspective, I thought of establishing the area, traveling to the destination, exploring the destination, setting up, and then finally shooting the destination, which would be the climax of the story. I put a hook on the beginning, about 20 seconds, to tease and entice people to stay towards the end, and then I had the structure I needed for my next step. Then I did a deep dive for music that would give the right feeling for the story. I took my time for this because it's the whole foundation. I mashed 2 songs together, and just like the story, I wanted the tension to build slowly towards the climax. Here I found the beginning of a song that I liked for my hook. I wanted to cut to the bridge, so I had a clean, seamless transition right here. And here's what I came up with to mash the 2 songs together right before the climax of the second song and the bridge in the first song. Here's what it sounds like. And then I readjust my markers. And now I have the structure and the soundtrack needed for the last step. Now for this last step, I listened to my music over and over dozens of times. All I did was think of ideas that I could use for the soundtrack. Specific parts of the soundtrack that I would put a certain shot or whatever I thought of. This is the imagination part where you have to think of ideas for the soundtrack. If you hear a specific part of the song, this is where you might want to put a certain shot that you thought of. Write it down on the timeline in a placeholder using a title card. Soon you have a whole map of all the ideas that you wanted for your soundtrack. Now with your soundtrack filled out, with place card holders covering the whole thing, you have a whole shot list that you can go and fetch. You spend much less time at each location when you have a shot list to refer to, because you know what you need to get, rather than going out and filming for hours and coming back home and sifting through it all. Put this shot list on your phone when you go out to shoot. Come home and slap these shots in on the timeline. This part goes much quicker as a result of the pre-planning. Then comes sound effects and color. To overly summarize, develop a story, make the soundtrack, create the shot list to the soundtrack, film, and edit. Here's what my film looks like with the placeholders on, just so you can see the pre-planning. Just note, things don't always go to plan and some improvisation is needed. Let's practice flexing the creative muscle, but we'll do it for growth and experience, seeking discomfort. Not for views or money, a passion worth the pursuit, and with no expectations. So let's begin.